Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here this week, number 28. Thanks for joining us again. We're back.
Yes,
we've taken a week off. We had a recorded one last week. That was the Animal Attack special. I hope you watched it and enjoyed it. This week we're here with a brand new show, and it's all about trolling. If you hadn't, and that's why we have chosen the Trollolol song.
Yeah, we started coming up with themes for our songs for the last couple of weeks.
Well, only because it kind of focuses the episode a little bit more, I feel.
Yeah, that is something we've kind of come to realise.
But we'll get onto this in a little while.
Yeah, we should probably get the spiel out of the way.
Yeah. And also things have happened in the last couple of weeks. Exciting things that we can't help but talk about.
Yeah.
So anyway, on with the show. You can find us at www.abhpod.com.
Yep, you can find us on Twitter at abhpod.
Or you can find both of us, incidentally, through Twitter. Yeah. I'm at Hey It's Me Tom.
I'm Hey It's Ant.
We have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/abhpod.
Yep. I think that's also...
YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah.
You can watch this episode.
Yes, you can.
It goes up on, because obviously this comes out on Sunday every week, and Ant puts the video recording of the show up on YouTube on a Tuesday usually.
Yeah, it seems to be. I've kind of got a system down where it goes up regularly on a Tuesday. If it doesn't go up Tuesday, it's usually Wednesday. Yeah. Because occasionally I'll get problems for it. But that's youtube.com/ABH podcast.
Yeah. And that can be quite interesting because you can get to see how we react with each other.
Yeah. Sometimes we might have a visual cue.
True.
I've got one this week.
Oh. Ooh.
And occasionally we like if we watch videos here, I'll try and get that in there, and if not, then on the end slate, we've got an end slate now.
Yes.
We put links to stuff there. I suppose. Oh, go on.
I was going to say also, if you go to all these sites, don't forget, please, to comment and rate and subscribe and
like
thumbs up and like and retweet and hashtag and all those kinds of things, because it would be good to raise our profile a little bit. We've done a lot of work ourselves in the last couple of weeks to raise our profile.
Yeah, we spent our week off quite.
We've done productive, but we'll get to that as well later on too. Because we're trying to structure the show this week. We're trying to make it a lot more.
Stop rambling.
Yeah, we're always going to ramble. Let's face it. I'm doing my radio voice now.
You are. We'll get onto that later.
Yeah, I should stop using my radio voice. I don't have a radio voice. Just for. Actually, I do. That's wrong. When I go to the radio station, I do have a radio voice.
Oh, do you really?
And it's a lot more. I don't know. I can't do it now. I don't have all the sliders and stuff in front of me, but it is like I do a kind of wind down.
The sliders give you a cue to.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kind of like hi, it's Tom.
I started out
it's hospital radio. You don't want to kind of go, hello, it's Tom.
No, exactly. Yeah. I don't, because most of the people who listen are old, and I don't want to shock them into having a stroke or a heart attack. That would be awful.
No.
So I'm a lot less kind of. I'm more like that was Frank Sinatra there. Take Me to the Moon. For Gladys.
Isn't it Fly Me to the Moon?
Yeah, I don't know. For Gladys on whatever ward. I lower my tone. I'm a lot more chocolatey. But yes, right. So the news. The last couple of weeks. Interesting things have happened.
Well, Prince William and Princess
Kate. Yeah, Kate Middleton.
Yeah, they actually had their baby.
They did.
Prince George Alexander Louis Windsor. I would assume it's Windsor.
I would have thought so.
That's quite an important thing. And like I was thinking at first, kind of, is it really important? There's been other princes and princesses or members of the royal family born since Harry, but I think the important thing is he's like third in line.
This one will be a king at some point.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I would be pissed off if I was Harry though.
Yeah.
For like 20 odd years, he's been like third in line for the throne. Prince William has a baby. He's been kicked back.
Bollocks. But
and the thing I liken to it, I was thinking about how I would describe this. The only thing I can liken to it is playing like Mario Kart where you're in first place for ages and one of your friends finds a shortcut and overtakes.
Or gets
right
that
at the last
bomb,
minute.
the red shell.
Yeah, just you're in first place and bam, there you go.
Oh no, it's the shell with the wings, isn't it? The purple.
Oh, the
shell
blue
with
one.
wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can liken to it. Is like,
I suppose you're right. Yeah. But yeah, what really interested me about that whole thing is that the news, all that the news was people standing outside a door waiting for someone to come along.
Yeah.
Which was fun because essentially the news turned into what's happening down there. Nothing. And that was literally one whole link, wasn't it? At one point on the BBC.
Yeah. Is there any news from down there with you?
Nope.
It's just kind of like, okay. It is one of those. It's like I've experienced actually having a child myself. That's what it's like. I mean, actually, I was in the room, so I knew when the baby.
Well, yeah,
but
exactly.
I imagine it's like my parents and Liz's parents.
Everyone waiting
sat
outside.
in the waiting, just sitting there, kind of like reading a magazine or a paper in a room.
The Channel 4 news as well. The woman who was stood out there all day that day just started interviewing other newscasters from around the world. That was quite funny, and they were like speculating.
Yeah, I did not spend a lot of time watching the news. The only thing I watched was. It was after that she had. I mean, the thing is, like with how the social media and stuff works now, everyone knew it was a boy before.
Well, yeah,
it had been announced.
Even before the easel, the little picture frame went up on the easel.
Yeah, and so I saw when they put that picture frame out, but I already knew it was a boy then anyway. And then we watched like just before they came out of the hospital. That's all I saw. I limited my watching time.
I preferred the bit before where it was just chaos and no one knew what was going on. There was
Nothing.
no news, but it was all that was on the news, which was really weird.
Yeah.
And the arguments between royalists and anti-royalists and stuff, that was always quite funny. But
lots of money was being spent where people were waiting.
Yeah,
it does. Like royal family does help the economy.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, lots of people.
It costs us a lot of money as well, but
they do a lot more work than people think they do, and they generate a lot more tourism monies.
All you've got to do is go to like Buckingham Palace or Windsor Castle,
yeah,
like on any given day, and you'll see hundreds of like people from other countries who have just come to see that.
Yeah. I'm not a royalist, but I think we would be worse off without them.
Yeah, so, if they turn around one day and go, the royal family's being disbanded or restricted their positions, I'll be like, oh.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, okay. It's a bit weird, but
I think it would be a loss for the country personally. Yeah. But yeah, either way, congratulations to Will and Kate.
Congratulations. And we know they're big fans.
Yeah.
Or not.
What else has gone on in the last couple of weeks?
I don't know.
Not a lot, really. That's been.
No, there probably is.
Well, the big news for today is that tonight the new episode of Doctor Who goes out.
Oh yes.
And there's lots of speculation about who the new Doctor Who is, and I can.
They have managed to keep it under wraps.
They've done really well, but we're gonna break it here.
I can't wait for this.
It's ABA. It's anywhere but here's own very Aunt Colin.
Collett.
Mrs. Collins. Mrs. Collins. Sorry.
There was a joke.
It was an in-joke. Don't worry about that.
Tom didn't forget.
No. Mr. Collett. It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people saying they'd love it to be Idris Elba, which would be cool. But I'm sure it's fairly busy at the minute.
This is it. I think he's going on to bigger and better things. Cause obviously, he's got Luther on at the moment. Like he's carving a Hollywood career for himself, and I don't think that Doctor Who would help him. I mean, look at Chris Eccleston. He did it for a season, and where's he gone?
It's true. That is very true.
He's in the new Thor film, mind you.
Well, that's pretty good then.
With Idris Elba, probably.
He's back in it, isn't he?
Yes, looking forward to that.
Oh yeah. I watched Thor last night.
Such a good film.
Such a good film. So I have to watch it again. We've done it. Actually, it's the second time. I think it's only the second time I've actually seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, both times stuck it on at about the same point throughout the film. Liz fell asleep. She always thought, if we watch a film at night, she cannot stay awake. So she fell asleep again. She got up this morning. She went, "Oh, we could watch the last part of Thor." I was like, "No, I watched that last night."
Seen it, yeah. Now, see, Joe was the opposite. We went to the cinema to see it, and I don't really know a lot about Thor, but
no, I love the film.
I went to look at it because it was directed by Kenneth Branagh as well, and I was like, "That's interesting." He's doing a massive, because normally, like apart from maybe Frankenstein, he normally only does Shakespeare stuff, really, or known for anyway. And we went along, and she was like, "No, it's just not going to be my thing." And then it started in space, and that turns her off instantly.
Really?
So she's not a sci-fi person at all. So she fell asleep for the first 10-15 minutes of it, and then she woke up when he's kind of stumbling around and being funny and shirtless, and then all of a sudden was like, "Oh, actually, this is funny and good."
And Chris Hemsworth's got his shirt off.
He's got his shirt off. So yeah, and she was very, very disappointed that she missed the first 10 minutes, the setup.
Such a good film.
Because she missed Anthony Hopkins. Crime. But yeah, since then we've watched it multiple times. It's actually one of my favourite of the Marvel films, if I'm going to be honest. That and the first Iron Man.
Yeah. No, it is definitely... I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's probably...
Because it's got that... It's
my favourite one. It's the one I will go... I should watch Thor.
It's light-hearted enough. Well, they're all light-hearted, but that has got like I don't know what it is. It's something probably about the performance. Actually,
I think it is the fact that you've got this like Norse god, this huge Norse god. Yeah. So I'm all powerful. Bring me another drink. That was delicious. I'll have another.
That was the drinking scene is very funny.
Oh, it's just so good.
How did we get there? Yeah, Doctor Who.
Idris Elba, wasn't it?
They were saying that because I heard on the way in that the bookies are taking odds and stuff, and I didn't think to bring it up on the internet. It's I can't remember who they said that it was in the running now, but yeah, tonight we'll find out for sure. It's not Ant.
I probably won't watch it just because I'm not caught up. Like, I haven't watched it for a long time. I will start watching it again. I will kind of listen for the news.
I think I watched the Chris Eccleston ones and then I stopped.
I mean, so far I prefer Chris Eccleston. I mean, it's probably blasphemy. People are probably
David Tennant is the best.
No, I prefer Christopher Eccleston. I didn't like David Tennant when I first saw him, but when you get into it a bit more, you're kind of like, it's like the whole thing when I started watching it, and I was kind of like, oh, I'll get it now.
Yeah,
and it is with the Christopher, like with the David Tennant. I do understand why people like it now, but I do really like Chris Eccleston.
My thing is, like, I stopped watching it so long ago that I really don't want to spend that much time catching up. But whoever it is, well done.
Another thing you're saying about the important thing going on today. I'm not sure you know about it, but do you remember when YouTube done the Comedy Week?
Yes.
Today starts YouTube Geek Week.
Oh.
So this week is Geek Week, so you've got like James May and the Nerdist channel all doing special videos and stuff.
Oh, right.
So
that hasn't been as widely advertised.
No, we got emails about it because obviously we're on YouTube and stuff. YouTube Geek Week, so perhaps we'll put Geek Week in our keywords.
Maybe
because we've mentioned it now. So
that's true. But that'd be interesting. The thing is, like with that Comedy Week, I didn't see a single thing. Like I'm not a big YouTube watcher anyway, really.
I have since Comedy Week, I've seen a lot like people. There's like Comedy Week challenges that people have had to do, like the spit take and cinnamon challenge and stuff like that. People doing that, and it's just normal YouTube users,
right?
But a lot of people didn't like YouTube Comedy Week because they brought comedians in who didn't understand YouTube. So they were doing comedy, like there was Sarah Silverman kind of done a thing with somebody, and it was just kind of like, it was Seth Rogen trying to like use the most offensive words they can because we're allowed to, so we're going to say
because it's the internet and you can say what you like.
And, look, we're going to like Sarah Silverman pretended to murder someone, and because she can, that's not funny.
Right, okay.
So like a lot of YouTubers who are genuinely funny just because they're funny people didn't get a lot of FaceTime on YouTube Comedy Week, whereas they should. Whereas like they're bringing James May, even though he's got a YouTube channel that he's had for a long time.
Yes.
He's not a YouTuber, he's a broadcaster.
Yeah, that's true.
So
will he be coming at it from a broadcaster's perspective?
Yeah, and there's people, what the fuck are their names? There's some people that I'm subscribed to on YouTube that are actual scientists, and like the Spangler effect.
Right.
He's like a science teacher who does YouTube videos, and he has been doing them for years. And I didn't see anything in the email about him. And
and you wonder why.
They're just bringing in big names to try and get
more people to watch.
Like the Nerdist, they do have a YouTube channel, but they're predominantly podcast.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one because, like you say, kind of Comedy Week lends itself to comedians and comedic actors and stuff. But yeah, Nerd Week is a bit, or Geek Week. Sorry, it's a bit. It's a bit. The thing is, it will just consist of podcasters, won't it? Really, really, or that's what it should be anyway.
Yeah, it should be YouTubers.
Yeah.
Like the Nerdist, yes. maybe they should be there. Maybe they should have Chris Hardwick presenting.
Yeah.
But presenting people who have been doing nerd or geek videos on YouTube for a long time.
If you're listening, YouTube,
let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. You're on YouTube, so obviously you YouTube users, you know what you want to see.
If you use our idea, I mean, maybe we could get some kickback or something. I don't know. Maybe some props. Maybe you should up the views a little bit. But yeah, so that whole thing about saying pretty much whatever you like on the internet, like the Comedy Week people.
Yeah.
Kind of leads us into the main gist of the show.
And the reason today. We had the troll along song.
Yes. We were trolled. And I've got to be honest. I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner.
Yeah, well, definitely. Well, technically
it did. Yes.
In one of our first live streams, someone just commented, "Cool story, bro." Which really pissed me off.
That was while we were going out live as well. That was while we were doing the live streaming, wasn't it?
To get interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the only real interaction we ever got.
Was "Cool story, bro," and it was just like, you fuck. That really annoyed me because there's no need.
But
what story?
He didn't thumbs down, so
that one did.
Oh, he did.
That one did.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we had one more recently.
Yeah, which we're not gonna go into the details of it because it's really nasty. The things it was basically this guy has taken exception to.
There was no criticisms on the content or anything like that. It was
just pure hate, really. And I think we dealt with it the best way that we could have, and we replied to the guy because the fact is we're trying to be interactive and we always ask for your opinions.
Yeah.
But this guy didn't really have any opinions. He just had a mouthful of hate.
Yeah, I think that's the reason we're considering it a troll. It wasn't a criticism or a negative comment.
No.
The reason it was a troll was because it was just kind of like this and this and this and this, and one of these things is going to get a reaction from you.
Plus, as well, I'm pretty sure the person was using a false identity.
Yeah, it was a subscriber.
That name is not a real name. I'm sorry.
I can't remember what it was.
I can. You can. I'm not going to say it because it gives publicity, and I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, because I mean that's why. Yeah, like I say, that's why I think it's a troll, because it was quite clearly trying to get a reaction.
Yeah.
And that's what trolling is. It's not being nasty. It's being nasty for the sake of
getting a reaction out of people and just causing misery and upset.
And I think this podcast is his reaction.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, what I want to do is take his comments on board, and actually, I think it's made us look at the podcast itself.
It did make me reconsider.
Actually, like, to give a response. Like, we're not giving an emotional response, we're giving a considered response.
Yeah.
And that was what our comments to him were.
Yeah. A lot of them were thanking that person for their interaction because it, got us a couple more views.
Yeah. Because
that's how YouTube works. If you get a comment on your video without a thumbs down...
well, that's it. Yeah, the guy didn't.
Then it's kind of like, this video's got an interaction. That must mean somebody's reacting to it.
Yeah.
So we'll put it up a bit higher. And then we commented, and they're like, "Oh, more interaction." And then he commented back, and it was like, "Oh, more interaction."
Which is kind of why we always say at the beginning and all the way through the show is like, please comment and stuff,
because it just puts us higher.
Because it raises our profile, and that's kind of what we want, really.
And it buries the trolls if there's loads of positive comments.
However, because we want a larger profile does not necessarily mean that we're looking for fame from this. Which was one of the things, like, oh, you're obviously trying to be famous and stuff, or else you wouldn't be putting it up on YouTube or putting it out as a podcast. You'd just be talking to each other. But
yeah, the message, because I sent him, I think, because on my iPad you can't reply to a comment. When you hit reply, it sends it as a message. And like I said to him, obviously we're trying to get more views because it costs money to do this.
Yeah.
So we need to put it in as many places as we can to get more views, so we can get some money to fund it, so we can carry on doing it.
Yeah. And this is why we have
an element of success, but success so it can be a self-sustaining hobby.
Yeah, exactly, because it is a hobby. We're not looking to get a TV show out of it. We're not looking to... Well, it would be nice, but...
That's the thing. If it does happen, then fucking awesome, and we'll definitely look into it.
You've got to be realistic about these things. It's literally just us talking, and we hope that it's entertaining. And I think... a few people do find it entertaining enough to come back every week and listen and watch and stuff. We are extremely grateful for the people who do, because without people listening, it would just be us talking into a microphone, and that would be a little bit sad.
I think if we didn't see our numbers kind of rising or staying level,
yeah.
then we probably wouldn't.
It would give us less impetus to drive on.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to keep going.
Yeah.
We would for a little while until we eventually got sick of it, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Like, what's the fucking point? Nothing's happening.
Yeah. But the fact is, since then, we've kind of taken a more, I'm not going to say professional approach. Active. Yeah, good word. I like it. And we've gone out and tried to find people who would actually like to listen, as opposed to just rely
hoping
on,
someone finds it by searching.
Rely on the fact that people kind of stumble across it, or, you know, the shares that people do give out actually do attract people in. Because I think podcasting is one of those things it's quite niche still, even though there are so many podcasts out there and they're all interesting or funny or whatever. Everyone's got their own voice and everyone's got their own stories and everyone's got their own interests, and somewhere around the world people have the same interests as you and find the same things funny as you do.
Also, I think at its core, podcasting is talk radio.
Yeah, basically.
And you've only got to look at the most popular radio stations to know that talk radio isn't
the most exactly. Yeah, precisely. So what we've done is we've gone out. We got told off by Twitter. I got blocked from the Anywhere But Here account.
You just happened to be on the account at the time.
Yeah, basically.
We were both there, but it was just your interaction that they went, whoa,
wait a minute, stop doing that. That's aggressive.
You've just added 800 people in the last 10 minutes.
Aggressive following I got done for. So we can't do that anymore. But I can kind of see where they're coming from, because it does maybe look like spam. But it's not. It's us trying to grow our listenership, and I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that.
No.
Because those who don't want to follow will not follow.
But I think their thing is Twitter is not a marketing tool.
No, that's right. Yeah.
It's something people use for marketing, but it's not a marketing tool.
Yeah, I know.
Whereas we were trying to use it as a marketing tool.
Yeah, but it's done the job. Yeah, there are now more than 10% of the people that I added have now followed us. So
yeah, it's been quite a lot of people. Yeah, we were both that night. We were texting. We were messaging each other on Facebook.
Yeah,
and then both on Twitter, just like follow. Oh, sorry, follow.
Yeah. And maybe it's the wrong way to go about things, but at the end of the day, stop hitting things every week.
Yeah. Without fail. Long limbs, restricted space.
Yeah, that's what it is. Without doing so, I don't think we'd ever move from the amount of listeners we've got.
No.
And again, not a bad thing, but at the same time, it would be nice to just have some more people and have people interact and stuff. And that's what we've got now.
Yeah, we have got some interaction.
We've got some interaction with some people, which is great. You know, keep it up. You know, it would be nice. And also, we've got to do our part, because we do ask for things. We ask for you to send stuff in for us to talk about, or we ask for ideas, and then occasionally I don't think we follow through on them.
Not always, no.
And I think it's because we try to fit so much into each episode that we only have like maybe a couple of minutes space for that kind of thing, and if it doesn't quite fit in with what we want to, we've already got together, it can.
It's hard to segue.
It's
like,
difficult
organically into it.
Yeah. Because we're so good at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so I think from now on, we will listen, and we will make a point of taking on your ideas, especially now that we have more people.
You done it this time.
Especially as we have
shouting at me.
More people. Yeah, it is. More people following us now, more people listening. Hopefully, we're gonna have to be way more. Beholden to actually doing the things that you suggest, and we have tried, but I don't think we spend enough time on the listeners, on the listeners' requests, and we are sorry for that. And I
think part of it as well is because we only have 2 or 3 people interact with us. We kind of, it's one of those things subconsciously we don't want to go, and thanks to you again, and thanks to you again, and thanks to you again, because
there was a time when I thought about making up names.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh, really? Glad we never did that.
Yeah, no, definitely. But hopefully we don't have to now, because there are a few other people joining in, which is good, including a couple more, podcasters as well. Nerd Church podcast and History of Misunderstanding podcast.
Yeah,
which are good, and you should go and listen to them as well.
And go follow them on Twitter. You go to our Twitter. We've been interacting with them a lot the last week or so. Hopefully, we're going to try and get away where we can maybe call into them or get them to call into us at some point. We're going to have to try and work that out.
Yeah, I mean, the guys from America sound pretty up for it.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens there. I'm thinking of a Smodco kind of half the episode on one person singing half the episode.
And if you want to listen to the rest of this interview,
you'll have to go over there. Yeah.
But we were going to work on that and maybe that happen in the next month or two. We've got to be like month or two and make it happen.
Most certainly, yeah. I mean, we're on holiday again next week, so there's a banked episode next week. It's the second part of the interview with Christina Smith from Mooley.
Yes.
Next week.
Who's a single that is out to pre-order now.
Yes.
So go do that.
So go and do that.
There's about 10 tracks. It's like an EP. There's like the automatic, and then there's the remixes. And it's like £3.59 or something.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it. So.
You posted the picture up.
On Facebook.
So go and check out those podcasts that we mentioned. Find them through our pages or Twitter especially. Go and download Mooley's new single Automatic, which you've heard quite a few times on this show now.
Yes.
And you'll hear again next week. Just to remind you, just to get that subliminal submission thing going down. You know, if we pound you with something long enough, you eventually start doing it. Sexy.
There was an innuendo there, sorry. So internet trolling has kind of made us more aware that we're quite it made us look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
Particularly what this person said made us look at what we were doing and going, well, hang on, what we need to do then.
And I always want to validate a listener's point of view, because that's the point, isn't it? You know, people point out your flaws or what you're doing right. We'd like a few more of the ones that we're doing right. If you enjoy parts
just
of the
to
show,
hide the trolling comments.
Yeah, because that whole thing, is fine. We don't mind taking negative criticism as long as it's constructive. But we've tried to look at what could be constructive out of this, and it's the fact that we need to kind of tighten everything up. We need to stop putting so much into one episode. Maybe theme the episodes, so that it segues easier. Because when we did the Animal Attack special last week, it all kind of we could segue really easily into things because we were talking about the same thing. Yeah, essentially,
that does help a lot.
So it is something that we've taken on board, and we're gonna carry on. We're gonna get stronger from this. We've survived it.
Trolling does have its positive points, as well as negative.
However, trolling itself, not a very...
You've ruined my segue.
Oh, sorry.
I'm joking.
No, go on.
No, I was going to say trolling can have its positive points, can be funny.
Right, yes.
I think I looked up one. I think I did. I was laying in bed last night.
It could have been a dream.
So Year of the Troll. This is like just funny stuff that trolling can be. Like, if you do it properly. Yeah. Like, trolling I don't mind. Because the ones where they're kind of doing something... Yeah, it might not piss one person. It gets a laugh out of a majority.
Yeah, I mean, trolling I think started off as basically it was kind of banter, wasn't it? It was like
I think so. Yeah.
A little bit of like sarcastic banter here and there, trying to poke fun at whatever it was, whatever the subject was that they were trolling. Whereas now it's kind of morphed into this hate speech type thing.
It's the anonymity of the internet allows people to get away with shit.
Yeah.
But this funny, like this troll. These are like the best of 2012, I think. Best of 4chan in 2012. One of them is where Mountain Dew had their name the new Mountain Dew flavour.
Oh right.
Competition, like mistake, letting the internet.
Yeah.
But there was like stuff. The top one was Gushing Granny, Fapple. What's that? Diabetes, Gushing Granny, Granny Squirt, Gushing Granny's Gushing Granny, Fabulous Apple, Gushing Green Granny, Moist Nugget. Like they're the names it's got. That is trolling at its best. It's just kind of like
it's fairly
let's
harmless.
see what Mountain Dew do with this. Yeah. And and basically Mountain Dew tweeted out, said Dub the Jew definitely lost to the internet. It was just kind of like they acknowledged the fact that that's it. Oh, the best one from last year was when someone tweeted out that Justin Bieber had cancer, and then all of the Justin Bieber fangirls shaved their heads. Hashtag bald for Bieber.
I remember that happening. I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah. The internet
twats.
voted for Taylor Swift to perform at a school for the deaf.
Well, it was kind of like that thing with Lil Wayne, wasn't it? Where in America he was gonna do a performance at Walmart, and the internet banded together to say they didn't really want Lil Wayne anywhere near them, so they sent him to the furthest away, which was Alaska.
Oh yeah, I remember. And also 4chan, they've done like the trolling. They've done good stuff. Like someone posted a picture on 4chan of a Burger King employee posted a picture of him standing in the lettuce, like the lettuce buckets, kind of standing there with his dirty shoes on and stuff. And then 4chan got together and eventually they found out where the picture was taken. Because obviously now you get like GPS data and stuff hidden in the file.
That's right. Yeah.
So they took the picture. They found out where it was taken. So they found out which shop, and they basically reported it to like Burger King managers. And they went down there and fired the guy. The people that done it. And it's just like there are horrible trolls out there, but they're good. And I mean, I suppose Anonymous are the best. To look at for the sort of positive trolling, as in like getting people arrested and fired and stuff like that.
Well, actually, Dom Jolly, who's a TV comedian from here in the UK, he did a show called Trigger Happy TV, which was brilliant.
That is trolling.
But yeah, kind of. But he was
in
trolled apparently. Where is it? He where is it? It's really annoying. Basically, he said one guy tweeted from his work account that he hopes my kids die of cancer. That's not funny.
Not very nice.
I let the MD of his firm know, and the guy was fired. I felt no guilt. He should have gone to prison.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to crack down on some of these really nasty trolls now. Like someone got sent to prison last week. For mocking dead teenagers on various websites. I wish I could find it now.
Sorry.
But I can't. No, it's fine. It's the fact that I didn't know. No. But yeah, basically, they've started to crack down on this like hate speech trolling. The difference from that to this, like the comedy trolling is fine and it doesn't hurt anyone necessarily, unless you're a Justin Bieber fan. And to his credit, that Lil Wayne one where he went to do the Walmart gig or signing or whatever it was, he did go to the Alaskan one
and do it.
And fair play to him, and he took it as a joke as well. He was like, yeah, fair enough, but
it's good. I mean, I think the problem is at the minute it's like the trolling has the definition I think has changed.
Yeah.
Whereas they're taking cyberbullying now and lumping that in with trolling, and I don't think it is. I think the trolling is playing jokes on people.
Yeah,
to get a rise out of them, get a rise out of them in a comedic way, rather than being really nasty and getting people angry.
Yeah, basically.
But the best one, it might be considered a practical joke, is fucking Rickrolling.
Yes.
Which is a form of troll, I suppose. It's also a practical joke, but it's kind of like for fuck's sake.
What is Rickrolling for people who
Rickrolling is everyone should know the song Never Gonna Give You Up, Rick Astley. It's basically like, say like someone before the PS4 was announced saying, oh, here's a link for like a video of the PS4 in its demo, whatever.
Yeah.
And you click on it and it comes up like Sony stuff, and then all of a sudden Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up pops in, and that is it.
Yeah.
That is the Rick
doesn't
rolling.
Hurt anyone, is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't really piss you off, you kind of go, oh god.
Yeah, and just stop.
Yeah.
Or unless you really like the song, you start singing along.
Which I do.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10 when you get Rick rolled, you just go with the flow.
Go with it, yeah, why not? Exactly.
But I think that's and I think cyberbullying has kind of got lumped in with it now.
Yeah. There should be 2 separate words for it, I think. Yeah, I mean, cyberbullying for a fact, it is different to trolling. Trolling should be about, fun, poking fun and not hurting people's feelings. But yeah, so that is something that has happened, and from that we have hopefully gone on to do something positive,
which we're going to try and do.
With how we do things. Yeah, I don't know what else really to say to that.
There's not really a lot. Don't do it. Don't do it to be nasty.
Yeah, like I say, for us particularly, if you're going to criticise, do it with a constructive way. And even if you don't, like, we're still going to take things on board, and we're still going to try and strive to be a better podcast for it. And no, I don't.
Not next week though.
No,
not next week.
no. We're going back to the interview next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get to see a girl on Anywhere But Here again. So that's good. We got almost no feedback on that episode at all.
No, well, not that we know of. I don't think.
I didn't see any.
No.
But yeah, I think the main fact for that is that she should have been sat in the middle, so everyone could see her face.
Yeah. We didn't want to put her in an awkward position.
Well, no, yeah. We didn't want to put her as the focus, just in case she kind of clammed up, which I guess she could have done. But but yeah. So it's something that we're learning from. And again, if you've got something interesting or something you got to plug, whether you're a band or a comedian or a podcaster or anything really, one of our friends, give us drop us a line,
tweet us or email us at abhpod@gmail.com
or that, and come on. It's always good to have other people on.
We're getting more equipment. Tom's got
I've got one of these sexy mics now as well. So that means we've got something ridiculous like four XLR mics and about 3 or 4 USB ones as well. Yeah. So we can host a ska band.
Not the trombonist.
Maybe not.
Nobody likes trombonists.
No.
I don't. Like end of good sound effects. I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say, did you do anything in these 2 weeks that was of interest? I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Well, I'm on shutdown from work at the minute.
Yes.
Because it's a manufacturing industry, they all have to take time off at the same time. So I've got 2.5 weeks off, and I taught Chloe to ride a bike without stabilise. I was hoping by the time I went back to work, it'd be fine. She got it within the first week or so.
Nice.
It was just it was easy.
I think it's one of those things that it just happens, doesn't it? When it clicks, it happens.
Yeah, it's one of the things. She's trying to do it. She's leaning over. I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to hold on to you anymore. You've just got to try it yourself.
Just go, do
balance, please. Yeah, she got it, and it was quite a proud moment, really.
No skin knees.
No,
nice.
She hasn't fallen off.
Nice. I was a terror for it. But then I used to always push myself a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think she's a bit more scared.
Yeah.
So her feet are always like, as soon as it tilts slightly, foot's on the floor.
Yeah.
So she's quite good. She will crash eventually, and she will not want to get back on.
Yeah, but you've got to get back in the saddle.
Up, get back on.
Yeah, because it's the only way.
Do you call it a saddle?
Yeah.
See, I've always called it a seat.
But a seat means that you can sit on it, though, doesn't it? I mean, you don't really sit. You kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. I heard saddle, and I did think to myself that makes a hell of a lot more sense than seat.
Well, yeah, but also the phrase is "get back in the saddle" anyway, whether or not. Yeah. I mean, getting back in the saddle of doing this podcast after such a harsh beatdown is, it's something that we had to do. Otherwise, we'd have been scared to come back to it.
Look at that link.
No, I haven't done a lot of interesting things in the last couple of weeks, if I'm honest. I've generally spent my weekends sleeping in the back garden with a couple of beers.
Oh, don't sleep in the sun.
I haven't been burnt though, so
I did get burnt when I went to the beach. Yeah.
But it looks like the weather is starting to become slightly less nice.
Just in time for our weekends away.
Yeah, just in time for our weekend off. But yeah, no, we're going to a nice place in Cornwall. It's essentially a castle. It's really nice, yeah.
I love Cornwall.
Right next to Tintagel, where King Arthur used to live, and Merlin and all that.
Oh, nice.
Like literally right next door, because I knew it was in Tintagel somewhere, the hotel that we're staying at, and then I decided, that would be a cool thing to go and look around the ruins and stuff. And looked it up on Google Maps, and it's right next door.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to Canberra.
Yeah, Camber Sands to the Pontins.
Pontins, proper British holiday.
Chalets.
Campsites, chalets.
Yes.
Fucking people who didn't make it in the West End singing to you in a club at night.
Yeah, my uncle started off as a red coat and butlins.
Red coat's a bit different. These are blue coats.
Oh, they're blue coats.
Red coats are like cream of the crop.
Yeah, blue coats aspire to be red coats. They're good seaside holidays. I remember going on a couple when I was younger. Actually, I used to really enjoy them. The chalets used to be full of mould and stuff.
Oh, the chalets were horrible back then.
Yeah.
Bit more upmarket now. Bloody expensive now. Well, I mean, we got it quite a good deal on Groupon.
Yeah.
But it's bloody expensive if you didn't go. If we didn't get a deal like that.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Could go to Spain cheaper. I don't know. Should we? We haven't done it for 2 weeks.
1, 2, yeah.
2. Animal attacking Christina.
Yeah.
And we won't be doing it next week, but this week, let's do our ABCs.
Why not? The ABCs, the one solid feature that we have on this show.
By solid, you mean intermittent.
The ABCs of ABH. What letters today?
O. So this week it's O. We're like more than halfway through the alphabet now.
We're getting
there.
It's
really odd.
We are getting there.
It'll almost be time where we don't have to rack our brains to think of
that theme tune will be gone.
Yeah, that sucks.
We could go back around, but it causes so much stress. Texting each other, have you got anything? Not really.
There are some, and I come up with them afterwards.
And mine are always something I've done this week.
I mean, who wants to go first? I can't remember who's been first and who hasn't.
I don't know. I think I did a couple of times, and I done last week. Last time I done it on my own.
On your own, didn't you?
On my own.
On my own.
I went common.
Yeah, I had a couple of things for this week, and I wasn't sure which one to kind of go for. One was a computer game for the PS1 called Overboard, which was fucking brilliant.
I never played it.
It was basically you were a pirate ship, and you had to kind of navigate your way around these levels and collect things and upgrade your weapons, and there were other pirates coming along and shooting you, and basically you had a certain amount of crewmen, and when you were hit, one of them jumped overboard, and you had to go back round to get him to get the life back. It was quite cool. It was really good, and but that wasn't the one that I was going to go for.
No,
but it was a really cool game.
Something I didn't know about.
Yeah. I can't remember who produced it or anything, but it was on the PS1, so it's probably on the PlayStation Store, I would imagine.
Yeah, one of the PS classics.
Somewhere. It was fun.
Which reminds me, it really pissed me off. Sony put out a tweet. You know, they were doing the PlayStation memories a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, what are your PS1 memories?" What was it? Yeah. What are your PS1 memories? And they put PSONE. What are your favourite PS1 classic games? PS1 memories. And on their store, they had a picture of the PSX.
Oh.
No, or was it the other way around? They put what are your favourite PlayStation 1 with the number 1. Okay. And they put a picture of a PS1, which was the little white one.
The one that came out after the PS2 was released.
Yeah, the little white one, the sort of miniature version of it. And they got it wrong. And I tweeted and was like, that's not a PlayStation 1. That's not a PSX, that is a PS1.
They were big and grey and slab-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were putting out a picture of the little PS1. And I was just like, that's wrong. Get it right, PlayStation.
Come on, Sony. What are you playing at? Anyway. But the O that I have gone for is a film. And I always go for films and music first. It's always the thing that I go in my CD collection, artists beginning with O, or films beginning with O, or authors, or things like that. And I never, ever come up with one that's interesting enough to talk about, even though I could. But this week I've gone for a film called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which is written and directed by the Cohen Brothers, Joel and Ethan Cohen, who I am massive fans of all their work. But it's one of those films that I watch I try to watch it maybe once a year. Yeah. It's one of those films that I will always go back to.
I've not even seen it once.
It's such a good film. And it's essentially, it stars George Clooney, John Turturro, excuse me, and Tim Nelson. It's also got John Goodman. It's got loads of people in it because these people who work with the Coens always come back for their movies. It's set in the Depression in the 1920s or 30s, 1930s, and it's kind of all of the Coen Brothers movies are a bit strange.
Yeah,
they're kind of dark comedies, or they're just a little bit kind of twisted in some way. And this one is no exception, really. It's an out-and-out comedy, I think. I don't think it's a dark comedy at all, but it's kind of based on Homer's Odyssey,
right?
Like the Greek epic poem,
which I also don't know.
Right. Well, it's about Ulysses trying to get back from the Trojan War. It takes him 10 years to get back to Ithaca,
right?
And in that time, his wife is being propositioned by a couple of suitors and all the rest of it, but he's got to battle monsters on the way back.
Right,
it's like the Cyclops and the Sirens and all that. So what you've got here is the main character, George Clooney, is called Ulysses S. Grant, I believe. Where's it gone? No, Ulysses Everett McGill, because Ulysses S. Grant was an actual author. Oh. Ulysses Everett McGill, and he's on a chain gang with these two guys, and he says that he's hidden a large amount of money somewhere, and that if they all escape, he'll split it with them. And and so they free themselves somehow from the chain gang. They escape into the countryside, and they embark upon this epic journey to get back to where he's hidden the money, and he's trying to get back to his wife and their kids. And on the way, like, all these strange things happen. Like, there are sirens. There are these women kind of these kind of women in their night robes down in the river washing their clothes, and they're singing this song, and he gets really transfixed by them, they all fall in love with these women, and then they fall asleep, and one of the guys has gone missing when they wake up, and he's been turned into a toad, the women have all disappeared, and they're left trying to find this guy. There is a guy, there's this John Goodman plays like a horribly racist landowner with one eye, so he's like the Cyclops. He's very angry, and he tries to kill them at one point. So it does follow vaguely the story of the Odyssey, and it's just really well put together, like everything that the Coens do. And also stars John Turturro, who's one of my favourite kind of recurring actors. He's in lots of things, but never really gets the credit he deserves.
He's a supporting actor.
Yeah, he's an awesome actor. I mean, he's in Secret Window with Johnny Depp, the Stephen King adaptation, where he's the antagonist. Right. I'm not going to say
what he does. I have seen it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, but it's a massive spoiler if I tell exactly what it is. But that's brilliant as well. And he's even quite good in the Transformers films, even though they're complete bobbins. But yeah, this film's just awesome, and again, he makes it back to his wife, who's kind of seeing this other guy, and he's a bit slimy and everything, and then they have to have their big, their big fight, and then at the end there's this massive flood, which I believe happens also in the Odyssey towards the end, and yeah, it's just it's a kind of comedy of errors. It's a bit farcical. And it's really, really good, and I stand by it. And the soundtrack is awesome. The soundtrack is brilliant. I mean, it's got people like Alison Krauss, Emmylou Harris, all the kind of bluegrassy type singers, like American country and folk. And there's a brilliant scene where they actually become radio stars. They form a band called the Soggy Bottom Boys. Right. And the song that they sing is called... Why don't I know it off the top of my head? Yeah, Man of Constant Sorrow. That, I mean, it is them singing it. It's not by someone else and they're just re-recording it. It's an original song as far as I know, and it is brilliant. Honestly, so good. I will play it for you afterwards. Because we can't play it on here because of copyright, which is a shame, because the American podcasts can do that. They're allowed to talk about things as long as you talk about the thing.
As you promote it,
Yeah, we're not really allowed to do that.
Which is a shame.
Which is a shame.
If we didn't host the podcast on our own website, we would be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Because YouTube and iTunes, we're covered by their PRS licensing.
There you go. Rubbish. Maybe we shouldn't have the website anymore.
You can't. No, well, because we still have to link. I can't remember. I don't know. But it sounds like one of those films. It's like a film that's good, and if you know that tale, it just adds
you get a lot more out of it. I mean,
it.
I've never read the Odyssey, but I've seen kind of film adaptations of it, and I know the basic lore around it. But yeah, like I think the more you know of the Odyssey, the more you get out of it.
It just adds something extra.
But even on its own, it's a really, really funny. It's just a really well made film, and I'm a massive fan of the Cohen Brothers.
It's something that people always tell me I should watch, and I just never go.
I'll have to lend it to you. I'll bring it down. Well, obviously not next week, but the week after, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of my favourite films. I didn't include in my top 5.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. No, that song as well. Look it up. Man of Constant Sorrow by the Soggy Bottom Boys. It is awesome. But yeah, that's my O. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Mine. I took, because it's obviously the summer holidays and I'm on shutdown. There's a summer reading challenge where kids have got to read 6 books in the summer holidays. Chloe's already read 3.
Righto.
Because she likes to read. She wanted to get 6 and read them all this week. And I went and browsed the trades because they've got a trade section, and I got Batman Cacophony,
right,
which is by Kevin Smith.
None of that is an O.
No, but there is a villain.
I know where you're going.
There is a villain that Kevin Smith and somebody else. I've got it right here. Kevin Smith and.
Not Walt Flanagan then.
Not Walt Flanagan. He's the artist.
He's the artist. Yeah.
He's.
These are people.
Kevin Smith and Phil Hester.
Phil Hester, right. Okay.
Created a villain called Onomatopoeia, which is my O.
Yes.
And I just think he's awesome. They created him for the Green Arrow issue number 12.
Yes.
March 2002, which I haven't read, and I am going to read that run as well, because Onomatopoeia is just this awesome villain.
He's a great bad guy.
He is. Have you read Cacophony?
No, I haven't.
That's brilliant. It's really good. Yeah, he's this villain who doesn't talk, and he's got this mask, and it's kind of like Bullseye. He's got like a target on his face.
Yeah.
And he's just a villain. He doesn't talk. You don't know who he is. You know he's a male because you see the bottom half of his face. And yeah, he's one of these people, onomatopoeia, because he makes the sound, and it works in comic books. They were going to put him in the Green Arrow TV series, but it just wouldn't work as well.
Right.
Because it's sort of stuff like if he was going to slice someone with a knife, he would say shink. So you went for shink as well.
Yeah, of course. It's the comic book way of doing it.
With a gun cocking, you get clack. And things like that. Yeah. And it's just one of those, or a belt hitting the table or something, you get clack. And he's, it's just this really sinister sort of thing, like you'll be doing something, because it is Cacophony where they break, where Deadshot is breaking the Joker out of Arkham. Or he's going to Arkham to kill the Joker. And then like stuff happens, and then you just hear this noise behind Deadshot, and it's onomatopoeia, and he shoots Deadshot in the head. And
but he goes bang.
Yeah, he fires, but he also says bang. And and he breaks Joker in Cacophony. He breaks Joker out of Arkham because he's trying to draw Batman out, because onomatopoeia goes after villains with no superpowers. Yes, he's after the heroes without superpowers.
So Batman, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Oh, Hornet, Arrow.
It's Green Arrow who's in. I don't know. I don't think he was after Green Arrow in. But yeah, the plot of Cacophony is that Max, whilst Joker's been in Arkham, he had asked Maxi Zeus to still kind of do stuff to make it seem like he asked him to do something to make Batman think he'd escaped from Arkham Asylum. So he would go to Arkham, and Joker would end up getting out that way. But instead, he took it and he turned it into like a designer drug called Chuckles. Right. And it's just this whole thing with Joker trying to get his own back, and there's a thing in it where Batman he has to make a decision to chase Onomatopoeia or to save Joker's life. And it's just this sort of thing. It's like, well, he needs Joker.
Well, so he's always going to save the Joker.
And he doesn't want people to die. That's not what Batman does. Yeah. So I've got this creaky chair. This is why we don't use this chair anymore. And it's just a really interesting story. It's only 3 issues. It's a really quick read. I think about half an hour.
Yeah.
It's 45 minutes.
I have to get my hands on that and Widening Gyre as well.
Widening Gyre. I've read the first 6 issues of that, and I don't want to spoil it, but Onomatopoeia may make an appearance.
Okay, yeah.
And it is really good as well, because you're reading it like, shit. And it is really fucking awesome. But yeah, the Widening Gyre is with Batman. It's kind of like Batman and Silver St. Cloud sort of relationship. And this new this new vigilante that comes along, and and he takes his mask off and shows Batman who he really is and stuff like that, and it kind of puts Batman in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
And and then eventually he kind of wins Batman's trust, and it's just so cool. It is really good. Widening Gyre is really good. Cacophony is good, but Widening Gyre is really good.
Okay.
But Onomatopoeia, yeah, like I say, I think is really
He's
interesting.
an interesting character.
Because you don't know anything about him.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those ones, it's always interesting when people add
and
a
I
character.
think it is the last page in this one, actually, is you see Onomatopoeia, you don't see who he is, but he kind of goes home and he's got a wife, 2 kids and a dog. And like he explains his injuries as sporting injuries, and then he goes into this room and it's just got glass cases with the masks of the heroes he's killed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's got one reserved for Batman, and somebody else black. I can't remember what it is.
Black Canary.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay.
But yeah, and you kind of find out a little bit about him. Like he's just a normal guy with
He's
family.
just a regular guy, yeah, and that's the most weird thing, I suppose.
And that's right at the end of Cacophony, and hoping you get more into it in Widening Gyre, find out who he really is. But yeah, it is good book, good villain. I'm going to look at the Green Arrow run with him, and he's in first shows up in issue 12, but then there's a whole sort of series of Green Arrow books I think dedicated to him. 3-issue storyline called The Sounds of Violence.
I see.
Issues 13 to 15.
Because the last big character they introduced into the Batman folklore was probably Harley Quinn, wasn't it? I'd have thought. Who was stuck, anyway.
Yeah, she was huge.
Yeah.
She's a huge one.
And
yeah.
like I say, it's always interesting when people kind of invent these characters, because it's fresh, it keeps things,
Yeah, he was actually taken in, because obviously at the minute it's just Green Arrow was Kevin Smith's running Green Arrow that he's in, and then he's in Cacophony, which is Kevin Smith, and then he was in Widening Gyre, which is Kevin Smith. But he also showed up in... And I looked it up last night, and it is on this page. It was, it's here somewhere. I'm doing this whole thing where I'm scanning, looking for it, but I'm not going to find it like that. He was in a series that wasn't
to do with Kevin Smith.
Something to do with the GLA. Right. Infinite Crisis.
Right, okay.
Which is the follow-up to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
But he was brought into Infinite Crisis as well for 1 issue, I think. Yeah, number 7 of Infinite Crisis. Yeah, so somebody else actually took him.
So it looks like he could be being set up as an actual recurring character in various
yeah.
DC
that's all the ones he's been in, I think, is the Kevin Smith ones and Infinite Crisis. So far, I think.
So far.
He is a really interesting... The thing is, he's an interesting character. Villain. He could kind of do something with. And like I say, they wanted to take him into the Green Arrow TV series, but he wouldn't work.
No.
Because, like, you say clack when you put something down. In a comic, you can imagine it says clack, but when you do it in real life, it doesn't sound like that.
Doesn't make that sound.
So somebody put it down, and then you hear him go clack, and they're like,
what
the fuck is that?
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Yeah, but that's my O. I just think it's quite interesting, and like I say, it was something I read this week and went,
a couple of really stupid things that I found in the news this week, to do with Will and Kate. Actually, I should probably have done it at the beginning of the show. But hey, BBC Breakfast, BBC Breakfast show has a picture of Prince William in amongst their paper reports. They do the headlines of the day, and basically it shows there's a picture of Prince William which has been graffitied on. Someone's drawn eyebrows, glasses, moustache, blackened a couple of teeth out, given him a goatee, and also a massive penis on his head.
And the BBC showed it.
And the BBC showed it on a breakfast show. They've had to...
I think, yeah, it was It wasn't the news segment. It was something to do with like a music video or a trailer for something.
Oh right, yeah.
And it was in that video, but they chose that clip, which had that graffiti.
It's
stuff.
quite funny.
Yeah, there's the video there.
Oh, that's the video there, is it? Barbara
Yeah.
Shopperer, I Could Have Married Kate.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of like a.
Yeah. So it was something in the video that they've just
Yeah, and
happened
the BBC
to.
didn't sort of.
They didn't realise
They
it was
didn't
there.
proof the VT before they showed it.
And then they had to have a massive apologies to everyone. And
Yeah.
stuff,
It's kind
which
of
is
like,
quite funny.
did you see that Air crash when that news
Yeah.
story where they kind of somebody leaked the names of the
Like
pilots?
Fook, what is it? We Too Low.
We Too Low, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy Fook.
Yeah.
That was such shit. I don't know. It was
Just
fucking
researchers not doing their research properly and not thinking, hold on, these sound like horrible racist joke names.
Funny. Yeah, but they just put it out there anyway as
Yeah.
an official statement.
That was brilliant. But there's also another clip that I can't show because it's not really worth putting on, but we'll put it on the website abhpod.com. It'll be there.
I think I put it on Facebook, our Facebook page.
Oh right, okay. And it's basically it's a South Korean woman is taking a driving test or lesson, and it's being filmed from the dashboard out, like kind of like the police camera action.
Yeah,
type
I know in
things,
Russia
you know.
they have to have dash cams for
That's
insurance
right. Yeah.
purposes, so it could be that.
Which
kind
is
of-
why there's so many pictures on videos on the internet of Russians crashing cars.
Well, and that meteorite that went down.
Yes,
Russia.
yeah, that's
There's all
right.
those videos.
Yeah. But this woman, she basically what it is, it's a 30-second long clip, and she starts driving at second number 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And essentially, you can kind of hear the instructor saying, "Okay, now pull away," and whatever. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's in Korean.
So yeah.
And then this car just speeds up and heads towards this bank, and they get all panicky and stuff, and it just flips the car over onto its roof. The windscreen shatters.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. It's a massive fail. So within 10 seconds of actually starting the driving test,
She failed
she fails,
by flipping it.
and that must be some sort of record.
Yeah, and there's like a transcript of it. Yeah, that's why I told you to press the brakes. What were you pressing? I'm going to go crazy. Get out of the car. Like somebody's translated it and it's brilliant.
Yeah, but we'll pop that up on the website as well, so you can go and have a look at it at abhpod.com. So yeah, I suppose what we've come to learn from this week is networking is good.
Yes.
Thank you to all the new people who are listening and watching and interacting and stuff. Thank you to all the old listeners who have been around since day one.
Yeah. We definitely appreciate
the early days.
that.
We appreciate you hanging in there. Everyone, all of you, give us, comment with us, tweet us.
Just if you find funny stuff, don't be afraid to post it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, put it up there.
It's not there for just us to post stuff.
Yeah, we will mention it as we have done with these, which I believe were found by Joe.
Yep.
Just the more interaction we have, the more we feel like we're actually doing something right.
Yeah.
And that's the point, really.
Yeah.
This is for you guys as well. We put this out for you as well as for us. So get involved. It would be great to hear from you.
Definitely go and check out Nerd Church podcast and History of Misunderstanding podcast.
Yes, yeah,
Those guys are awesome.
Our friends.
Yeah,
and
obviously it's been summer holidays. I haven't had the chance to listen to them quite as much as you have because I had Chloe to
I've listened to quite a few, and they are damn good.
Yes,
and have made me rethink our own podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for Anywhere But Here this week, I've been
nicely done. I've been Ant,
and I've been Tom.
Bye-bye.
Bye.